Salut! My name is Liuba, and I'm an accounting student at Elizabethtown College in my third year, and I'm currently studying abroad in Strasbourg, France.
I chose to study at Strasbourg because it was one of the only programs in France where I could live with the host family and really get that French intensive experience.
So when I first arrived in France, my initial concern was my language. I had no idea if my host family was going to understand anything I said, if I would understand anything they said, and just the communication part of it. I had traveled before, so it wasn't really a new thing for me to come to a new country, but it was just the initial shock of having to read everything in French, having to ask for water in French, and just the little cultural differences pretty much. But all in all, I was more excited than I was nervous. So personally, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for my study abroad experience since I had an internship all summer. So basically I had 1 week to come home, get packed, get all my documents ready, and kind of get into that mindset that, man, I'm going to be leaving home for 4 months. One thing I definitely recommend doing is kind of listening to a lot of your host country's language if you're going to study abroad in a non-English speaking country, to kind of lessen the culture shock and kind of get acquainted with the customs and culture. And definitely don't forget any of your documents. Make a folder, prepare a folder with all your important documents, because that is probably the most important part, and that will make you less stressed in the long run. So I've been trying to make the most out of my study abroad experience, partially by taking things as they go, but also by really trying to integrate myself into the French culture. For example, I joined l'escrime, which is fencing and a very popular sport in France. And I've also joined flamenco dance. And so these classes consist mostly of French native speakers, and so it's been really good to kind of work on my comprehension and also get to meet some people outside of my program group, which are all Americans. In my program, I'm required to do an internship. I have not started as of yet, but it will be at a boulangerie, which is a bakery, and they specialize in all sorts of breads, croissants, some pastries. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. And I'm also looking forward to our Paris excursion that we have for 4 days, where we're going to go see a play. Then I have plans to go see the Palace of Versailles, which I think will be really interesting. But yeah, other than that, I'm just trying to take things as they go and improve my language little by little, go to museums whenever I get the chance, not stay at home often and just watch Netflix, because that's probably the worst thing you can do, because you can watch Netflix at home as well. So I really recommend kind of putting yourself out there, trying to spend less time with American students, even though I know it's hard and I'm guilty of doing the same, and just embracing the culture. Check out my next videos to see more of my adventures.